Peace. Let's see. Before the sun, before Africa was a birthplace, his people. Scroll call, my God is true unto his promises and unto the faithful. Scroll call within the hour, but power can seize not one thing without a man. Scroll call. What more do you want now besides an anointed mind and able hands? Let's all right, right there. I'm actually stopped on 111, just about. I want to touch base on also, how are you? My name's Kavan. Um, I've been known as many things. Little Mabes, um, Blackjack, even Mickey. I've been a lot of names to a lot of people. Um, I'm a jack of all trades. I I'm an Aquarius, living in the age of Aquarius. I actually made this painting that's like right behind me. I use it as a backdrop. You'll see a lot of my art, and I'm just a way to show another side of myself. But I have a unique perspective. I like to believe, and I believe me being an outside the box thinker, being an Aquarius, I actually see outside the cage that plays like a game. I believe this whole world is being run by freemasons, and I've seen enough to know it. First of all, they're on the money, and all rulers are on the money. And also, money is the fakest thing, and yet it holds the most power. We're being we're being had. This is a heist, and the heist is for your mind, body, and spirit, your soul. If we don't become more aware of our surroundings, first of all, if I'm just gonna, you know, throw it out there. If all, if everybody comes from black people, right? Shouldn't they be at the heads of everything? We've been around the longest, have we not? Yet you don't see that. That's why it's a heist. If Africa is the most, it's the richest in resources, and yet you don't see any rich over there in abundance. Like they should be living beautifully over there with all the resources that they have, and yet they're the poorest. They can't even feed each other. And that's because we've been invaded, and this is a heist. I've been calling this out since probably a little bit before 2020. I started feeling things in my gut. I didn't know it was part of a spiritual awakening. I used to be a Jehovah Witness for a very long time, and I was able to
When that was happening in my spiritual awakening, I walked away and I started diving more into spirituality, which all religions come from. Because if I'm gonna follow anything, I'm gonna follow the source, you know. And if all religions come from spirituality, wouldn't you think spirituality should be the only thing that should suffice? It should be the only thing that's necessary. We don't have to have all these, different divisions. That's what separates you. And also, you're extending yourself outside of yourself. So if you're extending yourself outside of yourself, just putting the volume up. You don't want to, let's see, hold on. You don't want to extend yourself outside yourself. If the temple of God resides within us, if the temple of God resides within us, then we don't have to extend ourselves outside. We need to just close our eyes and focus on your third eye. Give it time. Be patient with the process, and you'll find everything that you're looking for. You'll find you. And it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to understand. It's a lot to overstand, especially if you're coded different than all the people that are around. I'm a Heyoka, sacred clown, powerful empath. I was born at a very odd time. I was actually born almost 48 years ago today. I arrived at 3:33 in the afternoon. It's not 3:33 in the afternoon yet, so I'm still 47. But I don't get lost in the numbers. It's just another day. Being a Jehovah Witness for so long, it's been birthdays and stuff like that. I got programmed out of it. I never learned to enjoy it as much as everybody else does. Because number one, being an Aquarius, you don't like to follow traditions, you question them. It has to make logical sense in order for me to follow anything. Otherwise, you're going to get a rebellious person. And that's what you have right now. Because I don't support the system. I'm totally against the system because the system was not supposed to be set up, especially if there's no representatives that look like me at the top, because we've been around since day one. Before the founding fathers found this place. This place was already here. There's no cathedrals that they can build. You've never seen one built to this day. All those designs that you see now, they can't copy that because they didn't do it to heist. This is sleight of hand. This is shell game. This is snake oil salesman. Especially if you're talking about medicine. And medicine is, if we're not talking about the full spectrum of a plant, then we're not talking about healing. If everything is synthetic and fractionated, how can it help you? How can it heal you? Doctors should be people that you only have to see a little bit. And it's just to tune up. And it's not to do anything more than that. And you shouldn't have to be on these medications for the rest of your life. That's not sound thinking. That's money. That's money. They don't wish to make you well. They only wish to raise their clientele. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, if it rhymes, it might be true. Who knows? But I get a lot of songs that like hit me in the gut. And that song that I was playing earlier, that's called "Scroll Call" by Cody Chestnut. Kind of sounds like Marvin Gaye. reminds me of him very much from that era. But he's not from that era. He's from our time. And I wanted to dive into the lyrics because I don't think everybody reads lyrics nowadays, and I've always read lyrics. That's why a lot of the music that I listen to really has a really uplifting, you know, feeling for myself because the words mean something because the words meant something to them when they penned them. So I wanted to dive into the lyrics and share my perspective on how I feel about what I'm reading. Okay. So I read the first four lines. I'm just reading from my phone. It says, "Scroll call before the sun, before Africa was a blameless people. Scroll call of my God is true. On to these promises and on to the faithful. Scroll call within the hour, but power good sees not one thing with the dead man. Scroll call, what more do you want now besides an anointed mind and able hands? Let us build a bridge out of the good greatness we have in common." All right. So it says, before Africa was a blameless people. I think, for what I'm saying there, like Africa is also a Greek word. You know, I think we're Atlanteans. You know, I don't believe I was born in Africa. I believe I was born here in America, but I believe this is like Remedy H. You know, very sound brother. Um, you can look him up on YouTube up on here. You know, I believe this is Atlantis. You know, yeah, some parts of it sunk and whatnot, but it's still here. The invaders slapped a different name on it, just like they slap a different name on black people every time. First, it was black, Negro, you know, all these like different titles, and they want us to embody that while they call themselves white the whole time when they're not even white. They look more pink than white, right? You can see the blood that rushes through their veins. They're pink. It's just an observation. I'm not being racist. I love all people. I'm a humanitarian. I'm an Aquarian. Even if you look at my shirt right now, you can see. See if I can see Aquarius. I'm a rarefied air. I digress. Let's get back to it. It says, scroll call of my God is true. Means I'm speaking the truth. Onto these promises and onto the faithful. So he's going by his God self, who he knows his God self to be from within. And he's trying to be a part of the promise and not a part of the problem. The world that we face. You know, I call it the cage that plays like a game. This is but power good sees not one thing with a dead man, because acts without works is dead, right? So the way I see that is can't do good if you're not around to do the good. And it says, besides an anointed mind and able hands. So an enlightened mind and hands that are ready to do things, not violent things, peaceful things. And we're not talking like this where, Alicia Keys was like, basically saying the, which actually doesn't mean peace, it means separation, whatever. You know, it means separation. This means separation. This means together. This is the way peace is really. It's esoteric. That means unity. You know, I used to always be like this because that's how I was programmed until I learned different. Now, every time I say it, like, bye to my mom, I'm always like, peace. Because I really want that. I really want them to have it. Whoever I'm talking to have a peaceful experience, an enjoyable experience, as we're supposed to. We're high vibrational beings. All right. So it says, let us build a bridge out of the good greatness we have in common. All of us are like snowflakes. If we're all like snowflakes, a drop of that greatness is on each and every one. Well, basically, it's like a Marvel origin story. They're all destined for some form of greatness. Otherwise, you would know about the comic book character that you're looking at. They want them to be destined for some form of greatness. We're destined for some form of greatness. But we all come from the same source, and we're all supposed to be in service of each other. So when he says, come on, let's build a bridge out of the good greatness that we have in common, it's steel sharpening steel. It's for just being a true humanitarian. You know, our greatness is the reason why we're here in the flesh. We're supposed to share that greatness with every single person that is willing to hear. You know, not everybody wants to hear that though, and that's okay. Their free will. It's not their time for them to hear it. They may not have the ears for it, and so you wish them well. But don't let them disturb your peace though. Your peace is priority. Your peace is paramount. Your peace is necessary in order for you to have a proper connection. When things are distorted, you can't make a connection, can you? Or is it a lot harder than you expect? So only with a peaceful mind can you climb. All right, let's see. The two, the apple of truth, yeah. Forsaking the ministry to feast before it cools down. Go resolve. Let's see. Let's listen to what it sounds like, because
before the books, before the legends of the Western philosopher. Scroll call for thousands of years. The young head got the word right from the elder. Come, let us build a bridge out of the good greatness we have.
all right, I read the wrong spot, but I got you. It says scroll call before the books, before the letters of the Western fool Lucifer. Scroll call for thousands of years. The young have got the word right from the elder. Come, let's build a bridge out of the good greatness we have in common. That's a scroll called Before the Books. Everything was given through griots, which were, you know, people that were told the stories and the history of whatever tribe or whoever, whatever people. They were the story holders. They were the history tellers. There was the storytellers, so they could pass it on to the next generation and the next generation until they go. But they would have another griot that would take those stories in and then keep on passing on the story so that way they don't forget. Our problems are they've killed a lot of our griots. How do we know ourselves unless we go within? We have to go within because we don't have those people that are telling us the stories, and the ones that are trying to tell the story are being slandered. The people that are at the top right now, they're really thieves and criminals because the land's not theirs if they found it. We didn't sign anything. You can't sign anything. You know, they've made us hypocrites because we live in a free world and we pay for shit. But I digress. It always happens. I start riffing. But I believe the books can also be a snare because I'm dyslexic, so I'm coded different. I think different. Doesn't mean I'm not smart though. This means how you learn, that works for you. How I learn is far different, and I take in a lot more with it as well. Um, all the books that we have, I believe, have been deceiving us because if they haven't brought us to a means of escape from the system of things, then I believe they've really been a snare, especially if they're not pointing us to go within ourselves. It says, scroll call for thousands of years. The young have got the word right from the elder. So, like griots, like I was talking about. And let's see. And it says, "Come, let's build a bridge out of the good greatness that we have in common." That reminds me also of Ubuntu. I am as you are. That's one thing that's gonna pull us all together. The spirit of Ubuntu. Like if we all come from the same source, like we shouldn't be fighting each other at all. Especially with universal law number 3. You get back what you put out. So if you put out war, war's coming back. And does that solve anything? Do you find a final solution? No, it's an ongoing broken record. And this keeps, and it don't stop because they haven't come to their senses that war will never solve, you know, a way to get peace. You might get a break in between, but that's not peaceful. That's not true peace. You're living with it could happen again at any time. Is that a joyful experience? Is that a peaceful experience? You tell me. You know? And I always say, trust your gut. Don't trust me. Because your gut is where your soul resides, right in your solar plexus. So if you if your soul resides in your solar plexus, trust it. Listen to that voice that always throws bullseyes. It don't miss. It's never missed. Because if that's your higher self right there, listen. Listen to the voice. That is the same voice that got me out of being a Jehovah Witness for a majority of my life. You know, I didn't even have this for a very long time. I was always clean shaven because I had to, because that's the programming, for well, most working places, and also the religion that I was in. They actually frowned upon people having facial hair, but they're letting people have facial hair now. How hypocritical, you know? They'll be doing birthdays and shit soon too, because they have no integrity, you know? And I feel like all that is a trap. It's a trap to ensnare you to their system of things. But I want to talk about, let's see, it says, come back to the living water to pray and fast for the love of God. Now, I know, oh, I almost missed that. It says, go resolve the first and last. Come back to living water to pray and fast for the love of God. And then he says, the love of God 3 times. His powers in the 3, 6, and the 9. Also, like when he says, go solve the first and the last. When they ask to go solve the first and the last, that's the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Who's been getting last place treatment for forever? Is it not us? Now we're getting put back to our rightful spot, first in existence. We're treated as first in existence, you know, because we're not getting that regal treatment that we were, you know. And it's a great time to be alive, because we get to see our whole people go from last to first. And these are the dreams that our ancestors had for us, and we get to live them. I'm in so deep gratitude that they didn't give up, because they didn't give up. We can't give up. We're the ones that find the means of escape, and we get out of this system once and for all time. And also, when it says come back to living water to pray and fast, living water, if you put shungite stones or shungite stones in your water, that will make living water, what they call living water, because it fills the water full of fullerenes, which is a very high antioxidant, very strong antioxidant. It's good for you. It's good for your system. And I've been on like water fast. I've been on 2 so far, 2 7-day water fasts, and one, the first time I ever tried it, like I made it 3 days. That I had to eat something. But yeah, it connects you to God. Like you see a difference in the way you think when there's no food in your stomach, and there's not gonna be food for the next 7 days. It's like it's more psychological. But if you can get through that, whatever they throw at you, you can make it. because you've survived with very less, very little. You know, there was no food, yet you survived. You know, and it's a very awe-inspiring place to be, but thankful nonetheless. But I wanted to share that with you. Like I've been talking for about it was this. I looked at the clock and it said 30 minutes and 30 seconds. So just wanted to say thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing energy with me. I appreciate it. This is gonna be the first of many Sundays to go. I used to have a show called Sunday Sanity on Instagram, and like I needed to change because as much as I appreciate my partner, she never saw my perspective to the point that we could grow. So she had to get cut. Is what it is. But no hard feelings. I wish her the best. Shout out to Kana. And from the ashes of that show, I am the phoenix of this show. So I appreciate the time that I had, and I had another show before that too. You know, when people refuse to grow, you gotta let them go. You have to. It's for your peace of mind. It's for your patience. It's for all of that. So you don't have to keep on, oh, let's go, let's go. It's either you're coming or you're not. And if you're not, I wish you well. Peace, you know? And yeah, I'm glad to be on YouTube. I'm glad to be doing this, and you'll see a lot more of me. You know, there might be shows during the weekdays as well, but I'm just aiming for one Sunday, every Sunday I'll be here about 9 o'clock, something like that. But until next time, I'm Kavan. You can call me Blackjack. Uh, but I'll be a friend if that's what you're looking for, a teacher if that's what you're looking for, um, an enlightener, and it's all for your greatness, never for your lateness. So everything's in the divine timing, so you're never late. So be great. Peace.